just, spend the day live with you guys. So you get to see what I do in a day. Sometimes it's very active and busy, other times it's not. So I'll just have you guys here while I work on some things on my system, and you know, just do my thing. Just have you guys looking at my face while I look at yours. Feel free to drop on the comments anything you want to tell me, anything you want to tell me, anything you want to talk about. If you have any questions about travels, if you have any questions about YouTube, if you have any questions about life generally, I'll definitely do my best to answer them once I get them. It would be lovely to hear from you guys because it's actually been a while since I went on live, and I want to enjoy every second of it with you guys. So feel free to drop your messages and feel free to message me as soon as you want. All right, welcome. Okay, I was asked the last time on a video what it takes to um, get uh, travel documents by someone. And let me just take my time to respond to that question. It depends on what country you are living in and the criterias. But generally, I think you definitely have to be a citizen of a country, first of all. First, maybe born in that country, your parents are from there, and and then you need to have in some countries birth certificates to birth. Hello, hi, Naomi Chika, my beautiful wife. Hello, how are you doing, baby? So I was just educating people on how to get a travel document, the passport. So in some cases, you need to have birth certificates signifying that you were born in that country. But I'll explain it on the basis of where I'm from, Nigeria. In Nigeria, to get your travel document, your passport especially, you need to have several documents, your birth certificate, your NIN or your national identification number, basically. And if you're working, you need to get um, what it's called, anyways, is like a certification from your employer, you know, certifying that you work with them and you're of good character. Yes, you're of good character, so they'll be able to, issue you that. And it takes a few weeks here in Nigeria to get your travel documents. Sometimes it takes as much as 1 month, dependent on the visa or passport office where you go to. Other times it's a lot faster, and some other times it's not. So it's dependent on the bureaucracy of the passport office where you go to. So sometimes it's fast, absolutely fast. Sometimes it's very, very slow. Some people take as much as 2 months to get theirs, but mine, when I applied for mine, was under 2 weeks. I got it under 2 weeks. So what you need is your birth certificate. You need your NIN certificate. That's basically it. And then you go online, you apply, and when you apply, you there are some other documents. It's now dependent on the office of immigration where you're applying at. So may ask you for your local government identification, because here in Nigeria we have what we call the local government identification, and that document identifies you as an indigene of a particular local government. It's more like, let's say, if you're from countries like Canada, let's say, it's like your provincial certification that certifies that, oh, you're from this province. So I don't know how that goes with every other country, but here in Nigeria, that's how it goes. And it takes a few, give or take, to give like an average time frame or time range, I would say it takes about a month. Takes about a month to get it. So when you apply for it, they will send you all the necessary details to get um, to come and do your biometrics. And when you get your biometrics out of the way and you get that done, they also sometimes they do send messages out to tell you that your passport is ready. Other times they'll just give you like a slip with which you'd always come to them, go to their offices or call them online to confirm and to check if, if they are done with your passport, and then if they are done with it, when you come to collect it, they'll activate it for you. So that's how to get your travel document if you're in Nigeria. That's how to get your travel document. Then if you're in other countries, it's now dependent on the procedures you'll have to go through. But I know certainly that you need to be first of all a citizen of that country before you apply for a passport, because most people apply for passports or get passports or acquire passports through fraudulent means, and that most definitely will get you in trouble. Some people buy fake passports. You do not want to do that, trust me, because when you do, you might get away with it at some point or at the beginning, but eventually the chances of you being caught is very, very high. And when you get caught, there's it will seem as though your whole world is crumbling in front of you, because the things that would follow, there'll be a lot of, investigation as to why or how you got the passport, where you got it from, how much you paid, who you paid to, how you got to get that passport. It's going to be like a whole world of hell. If you have investments in that country where you got a fake passport, and it's definitely going to be seized, because everything from the beginning of how you got it, how you started the process, everything is going to like seem as though your whole world is falling apart. So it is quite understandable that you do things sparingly with the intent of doing things the right way. First of all, when you want to get your travel document, if you don't know how to go about it, you consult a travel expert. So they teach you how to, they educate you, and they take you through the process of getting it done. So you don't get into troubles, you don't get into misunderstandings, and you fumble by the way. So you need to get, if you don't know how to do it, you get, in Nigeria they call them travel agents. You can even just walk by yourself to immigration. And when you're in a foreign country, you need to go through the process of getting doing it the right way. Don't go through the quick aspects of doing those kind of things, so you don't get into trouble. So a lot of people make the mistake of going to get fake documents, like in countries where you can get your passport, places like Australia, the USA, Canada, where you can get your passport if you were given birth to in that country, if you were born in those countries. Most of the times, I think what they need is your birth certificate. This document certifies that you were born in that country, and you have a right to that country. And some people are applying to get their passport or citizenship of that country with the birth certificates of the country. And a lot of times people get fake birth certificates. They can go and pay hospitals, get it through fraudulent means, and they want to use those documents. Some can even be as lucky as going ahead to get a passport with it. I recently saw a case online where a man faked. Not that I am saying Chinese people are bad, but he's a Chinese. In every country there are good people and there are bad people. So a Chinese man went ahead forged or paid for a fake birth certificate of Australia, an Australian birth certificate, and went ahead and applied online, and I think got an Australian passport. So after he got the passport, he got everything cleared. He was traveling up and down with it, and eventually, at some point, he was traveling from another country back into Australia, and to the visa, and not the visa officer, the officer at the port of the entry. I think it was a bit alarming how somebody who was born in Australia, who lives and works according to what the passport stated in Australia, and he couldn't speak, understandable English. So he was taken in for questioning, and you know how they do all their things. They took him for secondary questioning, and while they were questioning him, they asked for his parents' details. Definitely, if you were born in Australia, your mom would have been in Australia at some point. But there was all the details he gave were fake. They did their research. If your mom had been in Australia, her name would be on their system. They have a detailed means of checking all those. When somebody gets into a country, you're stamped in. When you're going out, there's documentation of you leaving the country. They checked and they couldn't find any, trace or trail of his parents ever being in Australia. They checked, they rechecked, but nothing. They called the hospital where he was alleged to have been born, and they didn't have any details of his birth there. So it dawned on him that he had been caught, and he now had to, the cards up, and he had to just confess everything, that he paid for a fake birth certificate, and with that birth certificate, some other, I would call them scammers or counterfeiters, however you want to put it. The counterfeiters helped him to get an Australian passport, and he got it. He got credit cards. He was living as though he was an actual Australian. But there are several means. These countries have several means they've stipulated, and it is virtually everywhere. You can go online and get the information. It is everywhere. You can go, you can be in the country, live there for some amount of time, and voila, you get your citizenship after you've lived in that country, and you fulfill all the necessary the procedures and all the necessary requirements for you to become a citizen of that country. And then that would be it. You'll be legitimately a citizen. You don't go about scared that you get caught tomorrow. You don't go about, wondering, what if I make a mistake in the cover story I have and eventually falter and all that. You don't do that. And if you're buoyant enough, there are other countries that allows for high-class travel around the world. You can go to several countries of the world. All you have to do is to pay. Some of those countries are in the Caribbean. You can pay money and they issue you their passports. They call those ones citizenship by investment. So you don't have to succumb to cunning ways and then eventually get yourself in trouble, get yourself in deep mess as to those kind of situations. So you don't have to get yourself in trouble while trying to get a second passport and all. There are several good things that can come out of getting a second passport, but you don't need to get into trouble while trying to get that. So I will just advise that anybody who is doing that would go through the right process and the right protocol.
Certainly, they see me.
No, I realize I forget that.